Maybe shifting gears a little bit, I think we all see the congestion, Mr. Redipalli. There's been comments at the panel that only 2% of the roadways are being used for all logistics. Is rail the solution, and what needs to be done to make sure that rail becomes the solution?
Well, rail is actually a very interesting case of what ills plague our infrastructure. If we look at what happened, India had more rail network, more route kilometers than China did when we got independence. And look at the state now. China has significantly more route kilometers than India, while it has only 6% of the global railway network. It transports about 25% of the global freight. Okay, so there is a significant amount of statistics, but without getting into the statistics, the Indian railway network has not evolved at the pace at which it was handed over. In fact, I think the British did a brilliant job and gave us some 56,000 odd route kilometers when they left the country, which we increased to 66,000 route kilometers currently. So I think there is a huge challenge on the railway front. Even the current users of railways have two problems in terms of, first, there is a lack of availability of rakes itself, and secondly, assume rakes are available, there are no crew to run it. So maybe a different model would work, maybe a public-private partnership would work, but I think it is critical for us to address this in the next 2-3 years. Unless we do that, we will be left behind, we will miss the complete generation of development on the railway front.
Paul?
I think another thing the British left, they didn't do it intentionally maybe, but they already locked in enough land in the current track area to double the rail capacity of the country. So the challenge of buying land in India, which China doesn't worry about because they just move people, here the strength of India is its weakness, but it's a great strength, and that is everyone is protected. But you already have the land already blocked going back 150 years, so you can double the rail capacity already, but you need to privatize more. And I think opening up the licenses for more containerized cargo has been critical to opening up these opportunities and unleashing the vulnerabilities in the system. You can move more trains through domestic corridors with dedicated cargo now. It's just a matter of planning it. And I know one of the strategies of Arshia was have 5 FTWZ parks strategically located in India. Why not connect them all by rail? You can move product bonded, you can repackage, relabel, play with the working capital, and feed the clusters, the hinterland areas, from these hubs.
Last question, Mr. Arun A.K. There are many ministries or secretariats in India, one for road, one for air, one for commerce, etc., etc. Should India consider having one for logistics as well, thereby better coordinating all the efforts and making sure that all the conversations that we've had this evening truly come to fruition in a coordinated way?
In this country, political parties are financed out of the money generated from companies, and that is taken off the books of companies and contributed to political parties. Unless we devise a new transparent system of political funding, it is not really possible to create the kind of efficiencies and integration that we would want to have. I think primarily because of the small little empires our political parties and politicians need to maintain in order to sustain their political system. So I think the key challenge here for logistics, for reforming corporate governance, for allowing industry to expand, is actually reforming our political system.
I think we're going to end it here. Thank you very much for a spirited conversation. I want to thank the audience for listening in as well.
There is so much that rail has as infrastructure in this country, but it is totally unutilized. It is underutilized. Nobody has bothered to privatize it. Nobody has a scheme to privatize it. And it is really a case where there is poverty in the midst of potential plenty in a country which is starved of infrastructure. And I think this is criminal in every possible aspect. What India needs to do and what railway needs to do is get into a lot of PPP projects and really let the entrepreneurs drive a lot more of this rail traffic into the system rather than compete against each other to get the share of this traffic. And I think Once that happens, you will see the